Someday is the same as never. My name is Stephen Carson, and I've lived most of my life as if someday was actually going to come, as if someday was actually real. And we all know what the rat race is, and we all have our own idea of what that looks like. But for me, it was 50 hours a week spent in a tiny little cubicle from sun up to sundown. Never even saw the light of day other than the drive to work and the drive back home. Glued to my chair, making 500 dials every day, minimum. Trying to sell insurance to a whole bunch of people that did not want to hear from me. And as I look back on that experience, I realize that I may very well still be there in that darkened little cubicle if it wasn't for the birth of my daughter Shiloh. And I still remember what that was like, those days leading up to that big event, and how excited I was and didn't know really what to expect, but I knew it was going to be amazing. And so one day I go to the HR lady over there at this corporation I worked at, and I asked her, hey, my wife's due date's coming up soon, and she's going to be giving birth, and it's going to be just this amazing thing, and I'm going to need some time off so that I can spend it with my daughter and my wife, and it's going to be so fun. And I remember, I'll never forget, her response was like a fist right to my gut. We'll give you 1 week off, she tells me. But if you're not back in your seat on day number 8, you forfeit your job and you will be terminated. And that day I realized, I started to get a sense for the trades that we must make in this life. And that by choosing one course of action, inherently, we've chosen not to pursue another course of action. And sometimes we trade pure gold opportunities for worthless garbage. Now, luckily, I heard a quote a short time before this, and it said, life is too short to do things that don't matter. And so that day I realized that my daughter's life and my role as her father hinged upon my decision, upon this one choice that I had to make. And so I decided I was going to choose my daughter instead of their cubicle. And I was going to choose my freedom instead of their rules. And I was going to choose my life instead of them. And so I did. And I have never felt more freedom than I did on that day up till that point. And I decided that that's the way that I wanted to live every day. Why? Because someday is the same as never. And I want to encourage you that if you're at a crossroads, and if your some days keep turning into yesterdays, you can live life on your own terms, and you can change the path that you're walking on. In fact, you must change the path that you're walking on. Because someday is the same as never. My name is Stephen Carson. Thanks for listening.